Hello, hello. We are going to show you guys how to take a simple store-bought box and transform it using the IOD Hay Pumpkin mold. We love this mold and it's so easy to use. So we actually picked up a box just from the store, but you could also look around the house, upcycle something you already have, or find a vintage crate that has character and dress it up as well. We used a chalk or mineral type paint and we put a couple coats of the paint. We chose white, but you could also choose like a nice creamy gold or a burnt orange, something really fall. That would be fun as well. Just pick whatever color that you want and put a nice medium coat. However many coats it takes to cover. For us, it took a couple of coats. I want to mention that we got the steps wrong in this video. You would actually want to put your molds on first. However, when we noticed we did that, we just kept on trucking and it worked out fine. So go ahead and put a light dusting of cornstarch into your mold for all the cavities that you'll be using, and we're using all of them. So we did a light dusting all the way through. You'll notice you get quite a buildup of the cornstarch, but don't worry. When we get all of the dusting inside each cavity that we're going to be using, we simply flip it and just give it a nice tap so that it gets rid of all of the excess. Next, you are going to take the IOD Air Dry Clay. We love our air dry clay. It's actually artist grade clay, and it is made so that it can hold just the finest detail, and when completely cured, it's when I say cured, I mean dry. It doesn't take any special curing. It's an air dry, but it's very hard when it's dry. So we use it for just almost anything. It's very easy to use, very soft, very supple and pliable. So you're just going to want to take the clay and mush it into the cavity. And once you get it completely full, you're going to use your thumbs and our micro rim around the mold cavity to create a nice clean edge. Okay, here's the fun part where you get to decast and pull out those beautiful molds that you just made. Look at all of the detail in that little pumpkin. It is so beautiful, and I just love this Hello Pumpkin mold because it has just kind of the Cinderella pumpkin and curly leaves that are just so beautiful. Fall is one of my favorite seasons, and I think this mold just really speaks to everything we love about fall. So you'll just go ahead and decast as you're taking out the tiny pieces. The dusting, that's what this is for. This helps the moldings come out easily. You'll want to flip it over. It really helps. We did not do that here, but if you flip it over and it just gently pull out the moldings, it really helps. All right, once you get your castings out, you can start to play with composition, lay them out on your project, and try different compositions and layouts and see what you like. I really like these off to one side and kind of an asymmetrical look. And then once you get what you like, take them off. And if you want to mark with a pencil where they were so you remember, you can do that. Otherwise, just take them off and then start gluing them down. Now, I haven't mentioned this before, but this video was actually done by my daughter, this is Sally, my daughter Olivia, and she is starting to create videos for us, and then I do the voiceover. So she's more new to actually using the products and stuff. So there's a couple of things that I will probably correct as I'm doing the voiceover as she gets to know the best uses and practices. But what I love about that is that you're able to see that as a new user, she just jumps in and goes for it, and everything works out beautifully. But I will tell you along the video the things that I would do differently and that she will do differently next time. One of those things is as she's gluing the castings on, she squirts the glue, and we like to use wood glue for this, and we use quick and thick glue, and she squirts it directly on the project, but we recommend putting it on the back of your casting, and so that you can spread it completely all around the back of the casting and making sure that you get complete coverage. The other thing that we would probably do differently is she folded it around the corner. We would probably just cut it at the edge of the box, but that's really personal preference as well, so that's fine. You can do it either way. So just a couple of notes on that. Go ahead and glue your castings down in the composition that you want them. And then the next step is to allow them to dry. Okay, you guys, and now the molds are all in place. And because we painted and crackled earlier, we're going to give it all a nice white coat so that we're painting over the pumpkins as well, now that our molds are on. But you, of course, can do it in the order of just putting your molds on a bare wood rather than on a painted wood. So don't get confused. So we're going to go ahead and paint the whole thing again with white paint and allow that to dry. All right, we're going to show you how to add an instant vintage texture with our vintage texture stamp. This stamp has 4 different textures, and we are going to use the crackle, the fine crackle texture, to add just a little bit of age and vintage to this box. So you just put a little bit of ink on, be sparing, and then you lay it down on your project, and you just give it just barely a little bit of pressure, kind of like a tickle randomly over the surface of your stamp, and then it just adds just a little bit of texture. Very easy, no mess, no fuss. It's one of our favorite stamps. For the final step, we are going to add a clear wax to seal everything in and protect it nicely. And what we do is we just use a wax brush. You can get these at your boutique where you buy IOD. Usually they sell a clear wax and a wax brush, and you just lightly dust it on, and then you want to make sure that, especially if your molds are not hardened yet, you are very, very gentle as you are doing this. So you just kind of pat it randomly using even coverage over your entire project, and then you're going to kind of work that in, but again, just nice and gentle. And you do want to cover the entire box, not just your pumpkins, but you'll want to just make sure you do all of the different sides. And I would do even the inside depending on what you're going to put on it. All right, now is where it gets fun. We are going to use a dark wax. We used the clear wax, and what that helps do is when you come in with the darker wax, the project isn't going to soak in that dark wax. So it just makes it easier to move around, and it makes it so that it doesn't take too much of the dark. and you can just end up with kind of a muddy mess if you do that with most dark waxes. So we did the clear wax first, and now we're coming in and we're just going to lightly dust or work in some of this darker wax. And what that will do is beautifully pop that detail so that you really see the pumpkins on your pumpkin box. Okay, final step, come in with a soft cloth. We are just using a blue shop cloth here and just going over the areas to kind of bring that highlight back and remove some of the dark wax so that the white pops through, and that is really going to bring out that detail that we want to see, as you can see. And that is the final step, you guys. This is finished, and isn't it beautiful? We just love how it came out. Olivia did a fantastic job, and she has more videos that she's done that will be on the channel soon, so stay tuned for more beautiful projects to come.